I know nothing, which I guess makes sense because when it comes to these subjects that we've been talking about lately, nobody knows anything. If you guys saw my last couple of videos, you know that I have been investigating the legality of different things going on in the Minecraft developer community, including building and selling plugins and the like. And there are a lot of questions, especially after the last video that I put out, that I have been researching and digging into and trying to find the answers to give to you. Now, before I get into all of that, I do want to make a quick mention that there's been a little bit of a development in regards to some developers who are acting pretty naughty. I've had some people that have reached out to me with reports, especially after the last video, where people are complaining about some developers that are using and exploiting kids, that are breaking different laws within the US and potentially internationally, and who are overall just being jerks. I want to make a quick note here about using kids to help you develop your plugins. If you are going to build some plugins, obviously Minecraft is a game where a significant percentage of the gamers who play it are kids, and so you're going to get some kids who are really interested in building plugins and learning how to code and all that, and so they might volunteer to work for you on your plugins. Now, something to mention about child labor laws is you can't just let a kid volunteer and not pay them, especially if you're paying somebody else for the same type of work that those kids are doing, and especially if you are going to make money off of the work that they are doing. It doesn't matter that it's for a game. If you have a kid who wants to work with you and you're going to make money off of that work, you need to check the child labor laws in your state or your country and find out what the proper process is to go through to make sure that you're doing things legally. Also, I highly recommend that you check with the parents of those kids. If the kid doesn't want you to talk to their parents and let them know about what they're going to be working on, then just don't work with that kid. You need to get parental permission to make anything happen at all, regardless of if they're volunteering or if you're going to pay them or anything like that. Overall, just be careful, okay? Be careful when you're working with kids. I'm not saying don't work with them. I'm not saying don't game with them. I'm not saying don't let them help you with projects, especially if you're not going to make money off of those projects. You can even teach these kids like an apprenticeship thing or an internship kind of deal or what have you, as long as the parents know and agree to whatever terms you come up with. And really, agreements and terms and all that, you need to be making those with every single developer that you work with, or if you are a developer, then you need to create your own contracts and your own terms of agreement before you start work on a project. I've been hearing so many terrible stories from people who are getting hooked up with other developers and working on projects, and then they get fired or demoted or they lose access to their code or what have you, but then they never had any kind of agreement in place to protect their work and to protect themselves. Guys, I know that the Spigot community and developer community overall is really relaxed and it's really chill and it's a lot of people volunteering their time, but seriously, take this stuff professionally. Protect your work. It's gonna save you some massive headaches down the road. I'm amazed by the number of developers who don't get agreements in place. They don't get anything set up for these projects that they're working on, and then they come to me or they go somewhere else publicly and they complain about people that they've worked with. And I'm like, guys, just get an agreement in place. Get some terms together, all right? It's not that hard to do. There are a lot of resources online that you can go to find out how to make that happen. As somebody who has done freelance development for the last 11 years, I can tell you agreements are everything. They are everything. Look them up, learn how to use them. That goes for kids, parents, and adult developers. Now back to the point of this video. Where we're talking about Spigot plugins and can you sell your plugins. And in my last video, I said, no, it doesn't look like you can sell plugins and make money off of them according to the Mojang commercial usage guidelines or the EULA. Now, I've done some digging and I've done a lot of reading and I've been talking to a lot of people. And basically nobody knows what is going on and what is actually legal and what's not. And from what I can tell, if anybody tells you that they know the answers about what's legal in regards to Spigot or Bukkit or plugin development or selling plugins or anything like that, they are lying to you. They do not actually know the answers. The one answer that I can tell you that is true: talk to a lawyer. Talk to a lawyer. That is been repeated to me over and over and over and over and over again, and I've read it so many times now. Talk to a lawyer is pretty much how it goes. The issue is that Mojang and Microsoft haven't really set a legal precedent because they haven't gone to court to defend or enforce the EULA or their commercial usage guidelines. So there are some terms in there which are conflicting and a little bit confusing that nobody really knows how to take. So there's a lot of free-for-all that's going on. There's a lot of people that are just doing what they think works and what they think is correct and just waiting to see what happens, which is both cool and also problematic. Obviously, if Mojang hasn't been enforcing some of those commercial usage guidelines or the EULA, the terms within there about selling plugins or what is defined as a plugin, then people tend to feel free to just do whatever they want and sell their plugins however they want. But that doesn't mean it's not going to change sometime in the future, and we need to be ready for that. So prepare yourself by talking to a lawyer. Now, what you can do, what I am 99% certain that you can do without any problem, is receive donations. You can receive donations for your plugin development. You can't sell them outright for like a licensing fee, but you can receive donations. Wait, let me take that back. You might be able to sell them outright for a licensing fee, but that's still in that questionable area. But I'm pretty certain that you definitely can receive donations for them. So if you take a look at some plugins like MCMMO or other ones that are set up in a similar way, business-wise and legal-wise, what they do is they have the plugin available for purchase or like a donation, but then they also have the source code available for anybody to download for free, which means they aren't selling exclusive rights to that plugin. They're just essentially receiving donation. And that works out really great for them because they can still make their money. But it works out for the community overall because it is not in that legal gray area of like, is this allowed or not? Is MCMMO or other plugins, are they going to be shut down? It's a pretty clean way to be able to make money off of the plugins. Now, one other little quick note is that if you are going to receive donations, you do still have to pay taxes on those, especially if you're here in the US. Talk to the IRS, look up some stuff about how donations and all that work in your state or country. But I know that where I am, if I receive a donation, that counts as personal income. Donations are not tax exempt unless you are a 501c3 organization, which I know that some of you out there are not doing. You are not reporting these things on your taxes, and that could get you in trouble. Now, here's a little detail that kind of mixes things up a little and makes it a little more complicated. MD5, the head of Spigot, and others claim that Spigot does not hook into Minecraft and does not rely on Minecraft to run. It certainly does make it possible to have a Minecraft server, but it doesn't actually need Minecraft to run. You can run it without any Minecraft resources connected at all, or clients connected, or anything like that. Would you really do that? I don't know. There might be somebody with a use case for that. So they say that because Spigot is separate entirely from Minecraft and doesn't hook into it at all, the commercial usage guidelines note that I read in the last video about how any plugins or mods that modify or connect to Minecraft in any way cannot be sold. If Spigot doesn't actually connect to Minecraft, then that means that you could sell your plugins and not be breaking the commercial usage guidelines. But since Spigot definitely heavily relies on Minecraft as a game existing in order for Spigot to be useful to anybody, then it could be legally argued that you can't sell your Spigot plugins. I don't know, talk to a lawyer. To make matters even more complicated, Spigot is based off of Bukkit, which is a GPL licensed piece of software. The way that GPL license works is that it essentially says anybody can redistribute or can modify the GPL licensed code, or they can make forks of it and derivatives of it. They can modify it. They can include plugins for it. But anything that touches that GPL licensed software also needs to be GPL licensed. So if Bukkit is GPL licensed and you make a plugin that relies on Bukkit and it connects to Bukkit, then your plugin has to be GPL, which means that a lot of these plugins that are listed as not GPL would actually be breaking the GPL license of Bukkit. It also means that leaker websites are totally free to do whatever they want. They can leak the plugins, they can distribute them as much as they want to. But back to that whole complex issue. We don't know if that's actually how it works because a lot of these plugins are made for Spigot, and yeah, Spigot is based off of Bukkit, but some people say that the plugins themselves are not a derivative of Bukkit and therefore don't need to be GPL licensed. It's just a mess, and therefore you should talk to a lawyer. So basically, to answer this question that has spanned over the last couple of episodes, can I sell my plugins? I guess. I think so. I don't really know for certain if it's legal to sell your plugins. Pretty sure that you can receive donations for your plugins, and so you can still get paid for your work, but you would still have to make that source code available for others to look at, especially if your plugin has to be a GPL licensed. Remember, if you are going to take donations for your work, you need to report those on your taxes. And also, none of this really applies to you being hired to develop plugins or mods for a server directly. So if somebody hires you to do some work for them, you can get paid for that work. That's not something that is going to be really controlled by any of this, except if Spigot and Bukkit are GPL and your plugin has to be licensed as GPL, then the person that you are building those plugins for also has to have those plugins as GPL. So any agreements that are made about like, you can't distribute this plugin once you make it for me, while unethical, if you did distribute that plugin, it wouldn't be illegal because you wrote it, it's GPL, you have the right to distribute it as much as you want. But I'm gonna be honest with you, don't flirt with that. Don't mess with that. Don't just stay away from that whole deal, okay? If somebody hires you to build a plugin for them, just build a plugin for them and let them have it, okay? Like don't try to like say and argue, oh, it's GPL, I can do whatever I want, because you're gonna be burning bridges, you're gonna be ruining relationships and ruining future work opportunities that you have. Likewise, I think that the best way to go with your plugins is to make them available for free, but also have them available for purchase/donation. I think that that's the way that you could go that is going to be more legally safe than the other methods. Obviously, you can do whatever you want. I am not a lawyer. I am not saying what is correct or what is wrong. I am just saying what I'm going to do. So please don't take my advice as legal advice. I will not be responsible for you getting in trouble if you do something wrong. Be prepared to comply with Mojang or Microsoft if they contact you with a cease and desist or a DMCA takedown or anything like that. Just be ready for that and be ready to adapt to the new environment as it unfolds. Now, what does that mean for my stance with these leaker websites and everything? I'm still going to be working against these people who support leaker websites. I'm still going to be working against leaker websites in general, and I'm still going to be working to try and take them down until we have a legal precedent, which will come from Mojang, Microsoft going to court about these issues and finding out how they are going to enforce the commercial usage guidelines and the EULA. I'm going to do my part to try and help make Spigot development and Minecraft plugin development a more professional and safe environment where young people and old people can all work together and create some really cool stuff for this game. As I said last time, thanks so much for watching this video, and thanks for being confused with me. I don't know the answers. Talk to a lawyer. That's all I can really say, and I think that that is all that anyone can really say. If you are interested in making money with your servers or with plugin development or YouTube or anything at all relating to Minecraft, you should probably talk to a lawyer and get some real legal counsel about what you can do to work within Mojang's guidelines for making money. And honestly, you should be doing that anyway. Don't treat this as just like a side hobby where you can make donations or you can make money and you don't have to report it. You don't have to take it seriously. You just make your money and go about your day. Take it seriously. Learn the business side of things. I highly encourage you to learn how to run your projects as a business. It's going to give you real world experience for later on in life when maybe you want to open a real business, a brick and mortar business in the real physical world, or you want to start a digital company, a tech company, a software company, development or design or advertising or whatever it might be. Treat your projects now within Minecraft as a business. Learn about tax law, learn about child labor laws, learn about all the legal precedent that's there. It's going to help you in the long run. It will not go to waste. If you think that you watching this video is not going to be time that has gone to waste, then please do like and subscribe. I really appreciate it. And I definitely will be coming back to you some more soon. More videos about how to take your Minecraft creations to another level. Thanks for joining the cafe today. My name is Stifflered, and I hope you all have a great one. Peace.